The letter trembled in Emma's hands, the words blurring as tears welled in her eyes. Uninvited, it read. The cold formality of her mother's handwriting slicing through her heart. She stood on the porch of her childhood home in Maplewood, New Jersey, the place where she'd once dreamed of love, now a battleground for it. Emma, Lily, and Claire were triplets, bound by a bond deeper than blood, or so Emma had believed. Growing up, they'd shared everything. Secrets whispered under blankets, laughter over burnt cookies, dreams of futures painted in vibrant hues. But tonight, as the autumn leaves crunched underfoot and the air carried the scent of pine, Emma faced a truth that shattered her. Her sisters' weddings were tomorrow, and she wasn't welcome. She glanced at Lily, her partner, standing beside her, green eyes fierce with defiance. Lily's hand squeezed hers, a silent promise of strength. "We don't need their approval," Lily whispered, her voice steady but laced with pain. Emma wanted to believe her, but the weight of her family's rejection pressed against her chest, threatening to suffocate her. Maplewood was a picturesque town, its streets lined with colonial homes and white picket fences, but beneath its charm lay a current of judgment. Emma had always known her family leaned traditional, their values rooted in the church they attended every Sunday. She'd spent years hiding who she was, dating men to please her parents, smiling through their expectations. Claire and Lily, her triplet sisters, not her partner, had followed suit, marrying men who fit the mold. Charming, successful, safe. But Emma couldn't live the lie anymore. When she met Lily, her Lily, at a poetry slam in New York City 2 years ago, everything changed. Lily was a whirlwind, a painter with a laugh that could light up a room and a heart that refused to bend. Emma, a quiet librarian with a love for old books and older dreams, fell hard. Their love was a secret garden, blooming in stolen moments, late-night talks in cramped apartments, kisses under starlit skies. But secrets don't stay buried in small towns. When Emma told her family about Lily, her mother's face had hardened, her father's voice had grown cold, and her sisters, had stayed silent. The wedding invitation had arrived months ago, a single envelope for all 3 sisters, a cruel oversight or deliberate slight. Claire was marrying Tom, a lawyer with a warm smile. Lily, the sister, was marrying James, a doctor with a steady hand. Emma had hoped her family would see her love for Lily, her partner, as equal, as beautiful. She'd brought Lily to meet them, her heart pounding with hope. But the dinner had been a disaster. Awkward silences, pointed questions, her mother's tight-lipped smile. And now this letter. "Due to the nature of the event, we feel it's best if you and Lily do not attend." Emma's knees buckled, and she sank onto the porch steps. Lily knelt beside her, brushing a strand of chestnut hair from her face. "They don't get to define us," Lily said, her voice fierce. "You're enough. We're enough." But Emma wasn't so sure. She thought of Claire, with her perfect curls and diplomat's grace, always the peacemaker. She thought of Lily, her sister Lily, whose sharp wit and sharper tongue had always cut through tension. They'd been her anchors, her mirrors, her other thirds. How could they let this happen? How could they stand by while their parents cast her out? The night deepened and the porch light flickered. Emma clutched the letter, her mind racing. She could stay away, let the weddings unfold without her, let her family's judgment win. Or she could fight, not just for her place at the table, but for the right to love who she loved unapologetically. She looked at Lily, whose eyes held a fire that warmed her soul. "We're going," Emma said, her voice trembling but resolute. "We're showing up." Lily's grin was electric. "That's my girl." The next morning, Maplewood buzzed with wedding preparations. Emma drove past the church, its steeple piercing the crisp autumn sky. She wore a simple navy dress, her heart pounding as she and Lily approached the venue. The plan was simple. Walk in, take a seat, exist. But as they neared the entrance, Claire appeared, her white dress glowing under the sun. "Emma," she whispered, her voice breaking. "You can't be here." Emma's heart sank, but she held her ground. "I'm your sister, Claire. This is my family too." Claire's eyes darted to the crowd inside, her expression torn. "Mom and Dad, they'll make a scene. Please, don't do this." Lily stepped forward, her voice low but firm. "She's not the one making a scene. They are." Claire hesitated, her hands twisting the fabric of her dress. For a moment, Emma saw the girl who'd once braided her hair, who'd cried with her when their dog died. But then Claire turned away, and the door closed behind her. Emma's resolve wavered, but Lily's hand found hers again. "We don't need their permission to be us," Lily said. They stepped back, the church looming like a judgment. Emma knew this was just the beginning. If she wanted her family back, if she wanted to be seen, she'd have to fight harder than she ever had before. Emma stood frozen on the church lawn, the weight of Claire's rejection sinking deep into her bones. The autumn breeze carried the faint sound of organ music, a cruel reminder of the celebration she was barred from. Lily's hand in hers was the only thing keeping her from crumbling. They retreated to a nearby park, the same one where Emma, Claire and Lily, the sister Lily, had spent countless summers as kids, chasing fireflies and dreaming of futures they couldn't yet name. The swings creaked in the wind, and Emma sat heavily on one, her navy dress catching the sunlight. Lily perched on the swing beside her, her leather jacket a stark contrast to the softness of the day. "We could crash it," Lily said, half joking, her green eyes glinting with mischief. "Walk right in, grab some cake, dance in the middle of the floor." Emma managed a weak smile. "And give Mom a heart attack?" Tempting. But her heart wasn't in it. She pulled out her phone, scrolling through old photos, snapshots of the triplets at prom, at graduation, their faces identical but their spirits so different. Claire, the dreamer, always smoothing over conflicts. Lily, the firecracker, always sparking them. And Emma, the quiet one, always watching, always hoping. How had they drifted so far apart? Lily noticed the photos and leaned over, her shoulder brushing Emma's. "You missed them," she said softly. It wasn't a question. "They're my sisters," Emma whispered. "We were supposed to be forever." She thought of the pact they'd made at 16, sitting on this very swing set, promising to always stand by each other. But Claire's silence at the church and Lily's absence, she hadn't even shown up to defend Emma, felt like a betrayal deeper than her parents' rejection. Lily stood, pacing the gravel path. "They're not gone, Em. They're just lost. Scared, maybe. People don't always know how to handle love like ours." Her voice softened, but her words carried a weight. Lily had grown up in a family that embraced her. A queer kid from Brooklyn who'd never had to hide. Emma envied that freedom, but she also loved Lily for it, for showing her what it meant to live unapologetically. Emma's phone buzzed, a text from Claire. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what to do. Meet me tonight? After the reception?" Emma's heart leapt, then sank. Was this an olive branch or another excuse? She showed the text to Lily, who raised an eyebrow. "Could be a trap," Lily said, but her tone was gentle. "Or it could be a chance." That evening, Emma and Lily drove to the reception hall, a grand venue on the outskirts of Maplewood with chandeliers glowing through tall windows. They parked across the street, watching guests in suits and dresses spill out, laughter echoing. Emma's stomach churned. She wasn't here to crash the party. She wasn't that brave. But to meet Claire, to understand why her sister had turned away. Claire emerged from a side door, her wedding dress swapped for a simple blouse and skirt. She looked smaller without the veil, more like the sister Emma remembered. "Em," Claire said, rushing forward, her eyes red. "I'm so sorry. I didn't know how to handle Mom and Dad. They're so set in their ways." Emma's throat tightened. "You could have said something, Claire. You could have fought for me." "I know," Claire said, her voice breaking. "I was scared. Tom's family is traditional too, and I didn't want to ruin the day. But that's no excuse." She reached for Emma's hand, but Emma pulled back, the hurt too raw. Lily stepped forward, her presence grounding. "Claire, Emma's your sister. She's not asking for permission to exist. She's asking you to see her." Claire nodded, tears spilling. "I do see you, Em. I love you. I messed up." She hesitated, then added, "Lily, our Lily, feels the same. She's inside trying to talk to Mom. She's furious about the letter." Emma's heart stuttered. Lily, her sister, was fighting for her? The thought sparked a flicker of hope, but it was quickly doused by doubt. "Then why isn't she here?" Emma asked. Claire sighed. "She's stubborn. You know how she is. She thinks she can change Mom's mind by arguing. But I think she's scared too. Scared of losing you, of losing all of us." The night air grew colder and Emma shivered. She wanted to believe Claire, to trust that her sisters still loved her. But the letter, the exclusion, the years of hiding, it all weighed too heavily. I need time, Emma said finally. I need to know you'll stand by me, not just in private but in front of them. Claire nodded, her face crumpling. I'll try, Em. I promise I'll try. As Claire walked back to the reception, Emma leaned into Lily, her partner, who wrapped an arm around her. We're gonna get through this, Lily murmured. Together. Emma nodded, but her heart was a battlefield. She knew the fight for her family's acceptance was far from over, and the next battle would come tomorrow, when she'd face her sister Lily, the one who shared her name and her blood, but maybe not her heart. The next morning, Emma woke to the smell of coffee and the sight of Lily, her Lily, sketching at the kitchen table of their rented Airbnb. The drawing was of Emma, her face soft in sleep, a quiet love captured in charcoal lines. You're too good to me, Emma said, her voice thick with emotion. Lily grinned, setting down her pencil. Just drawing what I see. She slid the sketch across the table, and Emma's heart swelled. But the warmth faded as she remembered today's mission. Confronting her sister Lily, whose wedding to James was tonight. Emma needed answers. Why hadn't Lily fought for her? Why had she let their parents' letter stand? They drove to the Maplewood Community Center, where Lily's rehearsal brunch was underway. The parking lot was filled with cars, and Emma's nerves twisted as she spotted her sister's fiery red hair through a window. Lily, her sister, was laughing, her arm linked with James's, the picture of a bride-to-be. Emma's chest ached. She wanted to be part of that joy, not an outsider peering in. Inside, the brunch was a whirlwind of chatter and clinking glasses. Emma and Lily, her partner, lingered near the entrance, unnoticed at first. Then Lily, her sister, spotted them, her smile faltering. She excused herself from James and approached, her eyes wary. Em, she said, her voice low. What are you doing here? I need to talk to you, Emma said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. About the letter. About why you didn't say anything. Lily's face tightened, her green eyes, so like her partner Lily's, flashing with something between guilt and defiance. I didn't know about the letter until after it was sent, she said. Mom and Dad, they didn't tell me. I would have stopped it. Would you? Emma asked, her voice breaking. Because you didn't stop them when I brought Lily to dinner. You didn't say a word when Mom called it inappropriate. Lily flinched, her hands fidgeting with her engagement ring. I was shocked, okay? I didn't know how to react. You've always been the quiet one, Em. I didn't expect this. This is me, Emma said, her voice rising. This is who I love. And you, of all people, should have had my back. The room grew quieter, heads turning. Lily's cheeks flushed, but she didn't back down. I do have your back, she said. But you don't know what it's like, Em. Mom and Dad, they're paying for the wedding. They're holding it over my head. And James's family, they're just like ours. Emma's heart sank. She saw the fear in her sister's eyes, the same fear she'd felt for years. But it didn't erase the hurt. So you chose them over me, she said softly. No, Lily said, her voice cracking. I'm trying to keep the peace. For all of us. Lily, Emma's partner, stepped forward, her presence a quiet storm. Keeping the peace doesn't mean erasing her, she said. You're her sister. Act like it. The words hung heavy, and for a moment Emma thought Lily might cry. But then James approached, his expression polite but guarded. Everything okay? He asked, his eyes flicking to Emma and her partner. Yeah, Lily said quickly, but her voice was strained. We're just catching up. Emma wanted to scream, to demand her sister choose a side. But she saw the cracks in Lily's armor. The fear of losing her family, her future, her place. It mirrored Emma's own fears, and that realization softened her anger, if only slightly. I'm not giving up on you, Emma said, her voice low. But I need you to fight for me, Lily. Not just in private. In front of them. Lily nodded, her eyes glistening. I'll try, she whispered. I swear I'll try. As Emma and her partner left the brunch, the weight of the confrontation lingered. Emma felt both lighter and heavier. Lighter for speaking her truth, heavier for the uncertainty of what came next. She leaned into Lily, her partner, who kissed her forehead. You were brave, Lily murmured. Braver than they deserve. That night, Emma and Lily watched from a distance as guests arrived for Lily's wedding. Emma didn't try to enter. She wasn't ready for another rejection. But she sent a text to both sisters. I love you. I'm here when you're ready. It was a small act, but it felt like a lifeline. A thread connecting her to the sisters she refused to lose. The days after Lily's wedding blurred into a haze of quiet mornings and restless nights. Emma and Lily, her partner, stayed in Maplewood, unwilling to leave until Emma felt some resolution. They spent hours walking the town's quiet streets, passing the library where Emma had once worked, the diner where the Triplets had shared milkshakes. Each step was a reminder of the life Emma had built here, and the one she was fighting to keep. One afternoon, Emma's phone buzzed with a voicemail from Claire. Her voice was shaky but warm. I can't stop thinking about you. Meet me at the house tomorrow? Just us. No parents. I need to make this right. Emma played the message twice, her heart caught between hope and caution. She showed it to Lily, who nodded. Go, Lily said. But I'm coming with you. The next day they pulled up to the family home. A white colonial with a wraparound porch. Claire was waiting outside, her hands stuffed in her coat pockets. She looked nervous, but her smile was genuine. Thanks for coming, she said, hugging Emma tightly. Emma stiffened at first, then melted into the embrace, the familiar warmth of her sister stirring memories of better days. Inside, the house smelled of cinnamon and old wood, unchanged since their childhood. Claire led them to the living room, where photos of the Triplets lined the mantel, 3 identical faces, 3 divergent paths. I talked to Lily, Claire said, sitting across from them. She's a mess, Em. She feels awful about the wedding, about not standing up for you. Emma's throat tightened. Then why isn't she here? She's scared, Claire said. Not just of Mom and Dad, but of what it means to take your side. She's afraid of losing everything. But she loves you. We both do. Emma wanted to believe her, but the hurt lingered. Love isn't enough if it's silent, she said. I needed you both to fight for me, to show Mom and Dad that I'm not a mistake. Claire's eyes filled with tears. You're not a mistake, Em. You're the bravest of us. I see that now. She reached for Emma's hand, and this time Emma let her take it. I told Tom everything, Claire continued. He was shocked, but he gets it. He wants to meet Lily, really meet her. And I'm going to talk to Mom and Dad. I promise. Emma's heart fluttered with cautious hope. What about Lily? She asked. Will she talk to them too? Claire hesitated. She's trying. James is complicated. His family's even stricter than ours. But she's working on him. She wants you back in her life, Em. She just needs time. Lily, Emma's partner, had been quiet, but now she spoke, her voice gentle but firm. Time's fine, but Emma deserves more than promises. She deserves family who show up. Claire nodded, wiping her eyes. I know. And I'm here. I'm showing up. The conversation stretched into the afternoon, the 3 of them peeling back layers of hurt and hope. Claire shared stories of her own struggles, pressure from Tom's family, her fear of disappointing their parents. Emma opened up about the years she'd spent hiding, the weight of being the different sister. For the first time in years they talked like sisters, not strangers. As they left, Claire hugged them both, her embrace lingering on Lily. You're good for her, Claire whispered. Thank you for loving her. That night, Emma and Lily sat on their Airbnb's porch, the stars bright above Maplewood. Emma felt lighter, like a knot in her chest had loosened. But she knew the fight wasn't over. Her sister Lily was still out there, caught in her own battle. And their parents, Emma hadn't faced them yet. That confrontation loomed like a storm on the horizon. I'm proud of you, Lily said, her hand finding Emma's. You're building something new. Even if it hurts. Emma smiled, tears prickling her eyes. With you, I can do anything. But as they held each other, Emma's phone lit up with a new message from her sister Lily. I need to see you. Tomorrow. Alone. Emma's heart raced. Was this a chance to rebuild? Or another fracture waiting to happen? Emma stood at the edge of the Maplewood Lake, the water reflecting the morning sun like a mirror. Her sister Lily had asked to meet here, a place where they'd once skipped stones and shared secrets. Emma's heart pounded as she waited, her partner Lily's words echoing in her mind. Whatever happens, you're enough. Lily, her sister, arrived alone, her red hair catching the light. She looked tired, her usual fire dimmed. Em, she said, her voice soft. I'm sorry. For everything. Emma's breath caught. She wanted to run to her sister, to hug her and erase the distance between them. But she held back, needing more than words. Why didn't you fight for me? She asked. Why did you let them uninvite me? Lily's eyes dropped to the ground, her hands twisting together. I was a coward, she said. I thought if I stayed quiet I could keep everyone happy, Mom, Dad, James, you. But I was wrong. I hurt you and I hate myself for it. Emma's chest ached, but she listened. Lily continued, her voice trembling. James's family is like ours, traditional, rigid. I was afraid they'd pull away if I pushed too hard. But after the wedding I told James everything. About you, about Lily, about how wrong it was to exclude you. He listened, Em. He's not perfect, but he's trying to understand. Emma's eyes stung. And Mom and Dad? What about them? Lily sighed, her breath visible in the cool air. I talked to them last night. It was ugly. Mom cried, Dad yelled, but I told them they were wrong. I told them you're my sister, and I won't lose you to their prejudice. Emma's heart leapt, but doubt lingered. Do you mean it? She asked. Because I can't keep begging to be seen. Lily stepped closer, her eyes fierce. I mean it. I'm done being scared. You're my sister and Lily's your person. I want you both in my life. They stood in silence, the weight of years between them. Then Lily opened her arms and Emma fell into them, tears streaming down her face. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. A crack in the wall that had separated them. The next week, Emma and Lily, her partner, met Claire and Lily, her sister, at a small cafe in Maplewood. It was awkward at first, the triplets navigating their new reality. But as they talked, laughed, and shared stories, Emma felt the pieces of her family begin to mend. Claire promised to host a dinner with Tom. A chance for everyone to meet Lily properly. Lily, her sister, vowed to keep pushing their parents, to make them see Emma's truth. The final confrontation came a month later. At a family meeting Emma insisted on. Her parents sat across from her, their faces tight with discomfort. Emma spoke her truth, her voice steady, Lily's hand in hers. I love her, she said. And I'm your daughter. You don't get to choose who I am. Her mother cried, her father looked away, but they listened. It wasn't acceptance, not yet, but it was a door opening, a chance for change. As Emma and Lily left, the autumn leaves falling around them, Emma felt a quiet strength. She'd fought for her place, for her love, and she'd won something greater. The courage to be herself. Years later, Emma would look back on that autumn as the moment she reclaimed her family. Not the one she was born into, but the one she built. With Lily by her side, and her sisters slowly finding their way back to her, Emma knew she was whole. Love, she learned, wasn't just in the words or the weddings. It was in the fight, the forgiveness, and the unyielding belief that she deserved to be seen.